At the Co-op Refinery Complex, our primary goal is to keep you safe. We strive to be a leader in safety, reliability, and sustainability within the petroleum refining industry. In order to ensure the safe operation of the refinery, the Co-op Refinery Complex has a number of programs, policies, procedures, and rules that must be adhered to at all times by all employees and contractors while on site. While all on-site safety policies are vital, the Co-op Refinery Complex has created a list of 12 life-saving rules. These rules are designed to address the practices that have been identified by industry data as high risk and to ensure the safety of everyone involved. These life-saving rules are meant to do exactly that, save lives. By adopting these rules, the Co-op Refinery Complex is aligned with industry best practice and introduced a program designed to keep our people and our communities safe. Here are our 12 life-saving rules. Rule number 1. Use fall protection when required. It's important to identify and control fall hazards and obtain, inspect, and properly use a fall protection system. Workers must consult with fire and safety on all fall protection requirements. Inspect equipment before use. Complete a fall protection plan when a potential fall exists and a fall protection system is to be used. Use fall protection equipment when outside of a passive fall protection system. For example, scaffolds, work platforms, decks and railings, etc. When exposed to a fall of over 1.8 meters or where there is a possibility of injury from any height. Rule number 2. Properly isolate equipment. All workers must follow Co-op tag, lock, and isolation procedures and ensure all tags and locks are in place. No tampering or unauthorized removal is allowed. Workers must confirm isolation is in place prior to commencing work. Confirm that no stored energy remains. Never remove isolation controls without authorization. Life-saving rule number 3. Safe work in excavations. It's vital to follow Co-op excavation procedure and obtain an excavation permit. Barricading excavations prevent accidental and unauthorized access. Workers must confirm they have the necessary permits to commence work. Follow applicable work permit requirements. Ensure barricading is in place. Stop work if conditions change. Ensure excavations are sloped as required. Ensure confined space rescue plan is in place prior to work if required. Life-saving rule number 4. Safe entry and work within confined spaces. If not approached safely, confined spaces have the potential to be serious safety hazards. Follow requirements of confined space and safe work permits. Check in with Safety Watch prior to entry. Ensure gas testing is performed prior to entry. Confirm functionality of radio communication with fire and safety. Know how to activate emergency alarms or call for rescue. Remain in contact with entrants. Complete the entry log. Review rescue procedures. Order evacuation of the confined space when required. Life-saving rule number 5. Work with a valid work permit when required. Work permits are an important part of the safety process. Request permits when required. Understand the work permit and follow it. Confirm that the work permit is valid. Complete field-level hazard assessment with a control area person prior to work. Close permits at the end of the task or shift. Life-saving rule number 6. Being under the influence of alcohol or drugs is prohibited. Employees, contractors, and visitors must not use or possess drugs or alcohol while working, and ensure medications prescribed over the counter will not affect safety. Inform their supervisor if they are taking medication that may have an effect on their performance. Report instances of workers under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Life-saving rule number 7. Install and obey barricades. Barricade and warning signs are there for a reason. Do not tamper with or remove barricades without authorization. Install, tag, maintain, and remove barricades in accordance with the CRC Safety Manual. Clean up barricade materials and return barricades to their storage area. Obey barricade and warning signs. Life-saving rule number 8. Control ignition sources. To ensure fire safety, ignition sources must be controlled. Smoke in designated areas only. Know where the designated smoking areas are. Intervene if you see someone smoking outside of a designated area. Understand and comply with control of ignition sources as required on permits. Life-saving rule number 9. Safe handling of hazardous materials. When handling hazardous materials, you must obtain and comply with appropriate MSDS/SDS before using the product. Proper personal protective equipment, PPE, shall be used while handling chemicals. Identify hazardous materials prior to handling. Ensure that workers in immediate area are not impacted by handling of hazardous materials. Report exposure to hazardous materials. Workers must comply with procedures regarding hazardous materials prior to handling. Everyone must be trained in WHMIS prior to handling any hazardous materials. Workers shall review the MSDS prior to handling a hazardous material and follow all precautions stated on the MSDS. Life-saving rule number 10. Sustain machinery equipment guards and process safety systems. Machinery tools and equipment guards should be in place and not modified. Process safety systems must not be compromised. Workers must obtain authorization before overriding or disabling safety-critical equipment, DCS systems, SIS systems, fire and gas detection systems, deluge and fire protection systems, etc. Never remove or modify safety guards. Ensure that safety devices on equipment are installed and functional prior to use. Life-saving rule number 11. Safe work on or near high-voltage equipment. Care is needed when in proximity of high-voltage equipment. It's important to identify high-energy sources, maintain safe approach distances, and use a spotter. Only qualified electrical workers to work on electrical equipment and conductors. Workers should be aware of minimum distances from high-voltage electrical conductors as per the CRC Safety Manual and OHS regulations. Obey warning signs. Not work on electrical systems unless authorized to do so. Life-saving rule number 12. Proper use of PPE. The correct use of personal protective equipment can save lives. Be aware of PPE requirements as stated in PPE Program SP-230. Wear all PPE required for the task. Ensure PPE fits and does not compromise their safety. Clean, maintain, and store PPE properly. Inspect PPE for wear and tear or damage prior to using. Report damaged PPE to your supervisor or replace it if authorized. At the Co-op Refinery Complex, safety is our #1 value and our first priority. Each report of non-compliance is investigated, and failure to comply with these 12 life-saving rules may result in disciplinary action. However, these rules are not meant to be punitive in nature. They are meant, as their name indicates, to save your life. Your adherence to these rules is your responsibility. These rules are designed to keep you safe while working at the Co-op Refinery Complex. Please take the time to observe and comply with these rules at all times. Pay attention to those around you. Are they following the rules as well? If not, speak up. Your safety and the safety of others depends on it.